going, guys? As you heard, today's video is basically me and Martin going to the Cape Henry wreck. Alright, so first let's look at the Cape Henry wreck. So you'll see on the screen there's an image here. It's a pretty interesting looking image. That's a ship, and you can read about it online, but basically they sunk a ship here, and it basically has become a fish haven. So I would guess, based on where I saw that we were on my down scan, we were at that bottom left hand side, basically anchored up at the south end of it. And originally we were kind of swinging off of the ship and catching some drum in that depressed area there. But once the tide changed a little bit, we swung back onto the ship and we started hooking up on different other types of species. So very diverse, very cool place to fish. So if you have a GPS trolling motor that can hold you in the current out there, that would be really advantageous, where you could just kind of explore, but we don't. And we made do, and it was a great trip, as you're about to see. I'm trying a new style of video this time. Instead of music in the background, mainly, I basically am going to be doing a voiceover, which I think is going to work better for this video. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, as you can see, the GoPro is usually mounted and plugged in, so I don't have to worry about batteries. And I can get different vantage points. I'm still perfecting the whole process, but anyways, you saw we were looking around at the fish finder. I unfortunately did not get very good footage of how to find the wreck once you get there. I do plan on going back to the Cape Henry wreck because it was a lot of fun. We've been doing a lot of tubes lately, and fishing at the islands. But here, I'm missing some action here. Anyway, long story short, I'm definitely getting some better footage. So as you can see, Martin started pulling up some trash fish. We caught some black sea bass, but before long, I noticed his rod going off. Didn't seem like much of a fish. It actually seemed small to me, even after I pulled and set the hook. It just didn't seem that big. But after I handed him the rod, he started pulling it up, and it actually had a lot of weight to it. As you can see, I'm going to reposition the GoPro so you can get a better view of it in a second here, I think. These are, sometimes you forget what you did. But yeah, I grabbed the net. Martin's saying it feels like a tog. We came to these wrecks expecting sheep's head and tog. We unfortunately didn't get any, although as you'll see, we were getting a lot of sneaky bites that really did feel like tog and sheep's head. So, yeah, Martin and I were both using some lighter gear, some bait casters, just for funsies. But yeah, you can see he's pulling up the fish now. Find a good spot to anchor. It just seemed like we kept swinging off the wreck. So yeah, this fish was about 27 inches. It was a little too big to keep. So Martin went ahead and released it. Yeah, we had a lot of fun here at this wreck. Like I said, we had been fishing over the tubes a lot and around the islands. Definitely catching a lot of fish, but just basically feeding the black sea bass. Using 5 pounds of shrimp per trip, it just wasn't very fun. But yeah, you can see here, hooked up on a pretty nice fish. It was a lot of fun with this light tackle. Again, I'm still getting used to this style of recording, so the GoPro here is not on me. I did realize it though, so here we go. Not bad. But yeah, nice heavy fish, a lot of fun. I mean, the thing sometimes just didn't want to move, Yeah, me and Martin are both right-handed, but we really prefer to use left-hand retrieve reels. It's just a lot easier instead of, setting the hook with your right hand and then switching the rod to your left hand and then switching your reeling hand over from left to. It's just, it never made sense to me. I mean, I'm not saying I can't do it, but I just like using left-hand retrieve. It makes more sense to me. Yes, sir. So the Cape Henry wreck is basically the last piece of structure that I kind of know before you head out into the ocean. And there's some near shore wrecks like the Santorin and whatnot. But like I said, we really just wanted to. I really just wanted to switch it up. So I'm glad we did because it was a different experience, and it's really good to switch it up every once in a while. Actually, not a bad size for a keeper, right? But yeah, as you can see, I got a nice black drum. I think it ended up being, gosh, I don't know that I even measured him because I knew it was a keeper. But it was like right at that size of like a good eating size. You know what I mean? That's funny. Yeah, I believe it was probably about 20 inches. It was a good size, very, very thick, lots of meat on him. So, yeah, so I believe this part of the video, yeah, you can see I hook up on something ridiculous. It was just so heavy. I couldn't really tell. We were fishing on a piece of structure where there was a hole, but the weird thing is that this fish, it was a heavy fish, and when I felt the head shakes, it was a huge fish. So it did end up breaking me off. I couldn't get it out of the structure. I don't know if that was the same fish or if a school of something was coming through, but yeah, Martin hooked up on a big fish right afterwards and came right off. So he didn't get broken off. I think he just pulled a hook. I don't know. We've been using smaller hooks, which has increased our hookup ratio on tog and sheepshead. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes bigger fish, you know, it's not the greatest thing. But yeah, pretty consistent hookups here. We were having a good time. We were really excited at this point because we were getting to the big boys. And here we are again. Oh yeah. Yeah, this guy's a bruiser, man. I'm not using light tackle, but the rod I have, I have to look, but I think it's basically a rod that like asks for about 20-pound braid. So it's not light, but it definitely is not heavy. Usually I use a heavy power rod for this type of fishing. If I'm waiting on, if I'm fishing for tog or sheepshead, just because I don't like to mess around. I want to get them out of the structure. But we're at the wreck here, and it's, I don't know, it just sounded like fun. So, sure was. It was about 60 feet here. You can tell when you find the wreck because it goes from 85 feet to like between 50 and 65. But it's really easy to get to. I would say from the Lesnar Bridge, if you're in Virginia Beach, it takes a little longer than it would normally take to get to like Second Island, which is where we've been fishing recently. I believe this was the first keeper of the day. You can see I measure him here, and he's 25, which is keeper size. But I'm definitely happy that we've been catching a fair amount of reds lately around the islands and whatnot because I love kayak fishing, but I just haven't had the time to go to Rudy at night. And it's like the same thing over and over again. So, if I can get out here on my boat and fish with a friend and catch them, then I'm all about it. All the bait we used today was shrimp. This was a big fish too. Well, it was a good fight too. I think I remember what this is. Yeah, he's out of the structure, alright. It's black, but it's not a drum. This is a fish I don't think anybody would guess. I had no clue what it was. I had never experienced anything like this before. But it was cool. It was definitely cool. Daddy ball, mother-in-law. Neil? Yeah, let him go. an oyster toad either. And this year I've been catching a lot more of these guys, which at first I thought would be cool, but now I'm kind of over it. Yeah. A massive eel. Saltwater eel. And I had never seen an eel this size before. This thing is just ridiculous. Yeah. 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 And like I said, that's not doing it justice. This thing was massive. It probably weighed like I'm not very good with weighing fish in my hand, but I don't know, like 8 pounds or something like that. It was big, man. It fought good. It looks like a cobia, doesn't it? Yeah, it was just a beautiful day. We were at a good time. Martin hooks up here. Yeah. Yeah. This is a bruiser fish right here. I mean, sometimes since Cape Henry Wreck is right at the mouth of the bay, you can really get a lot of current. Like I said, today, beautiful day. You can see how nice the weather was. We just had a great time. Ended up with 3 keeper fish. This not being one of them, you'll see why. But I think what we got so far is a black drum and a red drum in the box. Yeah, once he got it close, I decided to stop fishing and grab the net. But yeah, the Cape Henry Wreck is a really, like I said, it's a really unique, a really cool place to fish. It's neat because it's a full out wreck that's very close to the boat launch. So around Virginia Beach, if you want to go hit the wrecks, you know, you got the triangles. Yeah, you can see the red. It's a nice one. But yeah, a lot of our wrecks are, you know, they can take 2 hours to get to, which, you know, it's a long trip. This is, you know, 20 minutes and you're there. The downside is that it's not like stacked all year. You know, there's like certain times of the year you can really catch stuff there. Other times it's better to just go to the bridge or the islands or other things. So yeah, I think this fish was about 32 inches, I think he said. So it was a long fight for the fish. The fish was very tired. So Martin, you know, we always revive our fish before we just throw them in, because a lot of times they're basically passed out. You know what I mean? And you know, if you do that, they have a high chance of dying. Actually, you'll see you throw them down in and they're not revived yet. They'll just go belly up, and something about the anatomy of a fish, if they're belly up like that, they just won't get revived. So you can see we're heading in. I got my blue lights on. You know. You know, helps people see us. That's us passing under the bridge. But yeah, we just had a great time. Not only because we did hook up on the fish we hooked up on, but the ones that got away, there was a good 45 minutes where we were both hooking up on these fish and they were coming off, and we really wanted to know what they were. They felt big. They felt very much like tog, like nice tog, which is one of the things we were aiming to get. But it'll just have to happen next time, man. So you can see here we're pulling the boat out, and that was the end of the trip. So yeah, glad you guys enjoy the video, hopefully, and like and subscribe.